Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. I am not ashamed to praise my Father's name. Putting Major Riley in the Hall of Fame is not easy. Life is not easy. Life is in a mess. We have to do our best to alleviate the stress. The truth we possess is not easy. Life is not easy.
Oh, Father, each day I pray you guide my way. And lead me not into temptation. Please deliver me, Yahweh. Ooh, yeah. Let me be strong in your word. Let your truth be heard. But you're my strength and my shield. The sound of your voice makes the universe yield. Oh, yeah. I said, Yahweh here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah, yeah. Wherever you lead me, Father, I will follow. Let my roots grow deep. We're not shallow. Yeah. Yahweh is here. Oh, Israel, have no fear. Don't you know that summer is nigh? And he said, on eagle wing we'll fly. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah, yeah. Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah, Yahweh's here to lead his children home, and that's glory.
The Nation of Yahweh presents The Unfolding Light. Today's show is brought to you by builders of the Highway Foundation, Yahweh Life Center, School of Music, Yahweh Education Centers, and the Temple of Brothers and Sisters of Goodwill. And now for your host, Dr. Lud Yisrael.
Boker Tov and Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to the Nation of Yahweh's weekly teleconference, The Unfolding Light. I am your host, Dr. Lud, along with my co-host, Sister Tamar. Boker Tov, sister.
Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Well, there has been wicked attacks against our nation once again for no reason, of course, except that we are helping to wake up Yahweh's children. We'll talk about it when we get to Power Talk. But before we do that, today on Unfolding Light, we'll have Who is Yahweh by the Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Directly after that, we'll have a keynote message from the Master Teacher, the founder of the Nation of Yahweh. And directly after that, we'll have the part where we all take part in unfolding the light, and we call it Power Talk. And now for our prayer. If we will all stand and face the east with outstretched hands, O Yahweh, God of our salvation, save us, gather us together, and deliver us from this heathen, so that we may give thanks to thy holy name and glory in thy praises. Blessed be the holy name of Yahweh and Yisrael forever. O Yahweh, let them be confounded that persecute us, but let not us be confounded. Let our enemies be dismayed, but let not us be dismayed. Bring upon our enemies the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. O Yahweh, forgive our fathers for breaking your laws, and please forgive us for breaking your laws. Help us to never bring shame upon thy great name, nor reproach against thy works. For surely we have turned ourselves to thee, O Yahweh, trying to be upright. And as we confess our faults, please grant us protection against all of our faults. Cleanse us of our secret faults, and guide us to the best of morals. For surely our prayers and our sacrifices, our lives and our deaths, are all for thee, O Yahweh. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuterika, Yadze Rezonka, Kim Vashemayim Kain Ba'aretz, Et Lekon Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh.
Remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last, I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is a name that you should know. because it's the duty of the Son of God to proclaim his Father's name. And here you have a whole bunch of people going to church, 400,000 churches, and they don't know the name of the Father. They say such silly things like, Father, God, help me. Both of them titles. Father is a title, God is a title. Who's going to answer to that? The purpose of the coming of the Son is to reveal the name of the Father. That's who he prayed to, our Father, and he called his name. He said, hallowed be, holy be thy name. How can it be holy to you and you don't know it? Interesting, isn't it? There are a lot more interesting questions than that about that situation. But when you begin to read your Bible, as I call this to your attention, you will discover from the Old Testament of Genesis all the way through Revelations, it's all about the name of the Father. It's all about his name. But somebody got you calling some other kind of name other than the Father's name. And you don't know his name. And unless you learn his name, then you're never going to move from poverty to riches. And if you don't come into the knowledge of the name. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that you have the same God, have the same churches, and the same names that white people have? I mean, have you noticed? You do. Our people have the same, right? Isn't it strange how God always answers white people's prayers? Black folk prayers don't seem to be the same magnitude. You know, you say, well, I get my prayers answered. Well, why don't you ever get answered to be the ruler? I mean, you know, my people are always on their knees in front of white people asking white people to let them be accepted. Why do you need to ask white people for acceptance? Why don't you just ask God? Doesn't your God have enough power to make you accepted? Why can't you be the people that everybody else wants to be among? Why are you always running after somebody else to be among them? What's wrong with your God? Why do you have to go around always on your knees with your hat in your hand begging for a job from white people? Why don't your God just give you some jobs? Oh, I have to ask you some serious questions because white people move from poverty to riches every day. Huh? They come from Russia. They come from Europe. They come from England. They come from all over the world with nothing on the ship. Come and get in your neighborhood. Come with a buggy and a basket and a wagon and push it around in your neighborhood and move from poverty to riches out of your pocket. You live in the neighborhood and stay poor and just pray all the time. You prayed enough to rule all the world. So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is the God of the Bible. He's the God of the Hebrews. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. Yahweh is the man that beat up on Pharaoh. Y'all remember how he put plagues in Egypt? That was Yahweh did that. Yahweh is the one that when Pharaoh got real sassy, he drowned him in the Red Sea. That's Yahweh who did it. Yahweh is the man that when Daniel refused to bow down to another nation and quit facing the east and praying, when he refused to stop praying to his God, which was Yahweh, they said, well, we're going to put you in the lion's den and starve them. Threw him in the lion's den. Yahweh locked the jaws of the lion. Lions could do him no harm. Rulers got scared. Came and got Daniel out and made him a ruler. Right? I just want you to know who Yahweh is. He made the sun, the talk. I act as he says act. I do whatever he says do. I have no idea of doing it any other way. Those are the things that makes me his son. I obey his laws, his statutes, his judgments, his commandments. That's why I'm successful. He said in his holy word that if I obey his law, statutes, judgments, and commandments, that he would make everything, all the works of my hand would prosper. So all the works of my hands, it's prospering. I'm telling you why. Now, what about you? You might say, well, if you're the son of Yahweh, can I be? Of course you can. Of course you can be the sons of Yahweh. Every one of you can be. Every one of you can be the daughters of Yahweh. All you have to do is like I do. Obey his will, just like I do. You automatically become. You believe on his name, then you have eternal life. There's no other name under heaven that you can be saved in other than God who created it. You can't be saved in no name but the name of the one who created everything. And he gave his son a name higher than all the angels in heaven. What's the name higher than all the names that the angels could possibly have? The Father's name. There can be no name higher than the Creator's. So the son has to come in his father's name. Just like if your name is Davis, then your father was named Davis. If your name is Smith, your father's name was Smith. My name is Yahweh, so my father's name is Yahweh. That's logical.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise. Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. Wow. So we have something to announce, and we have a special ask of you right now, our listening audience. Sister Tamar?
Yes, sir. So, family, we have not been able to broadcast today's show to YouTube, as YouTube has found a reason to block us, and we'll discuss this further in Power Talk.
Right.
However, you can invite all of your friends, your family, and everyone you know to join us on this Zoom, as well as the Nation of Yahweh Facebook page. We will figure out a way to get this broadcasted in other places that's forthcoming. But for today's show, invite your friends and family to join us on this Zoom conference, as well as the Nation of Yahweh's Facebook page.
All right. The wicked has come against us, and they went deep. They dug deep. They've been actively working to do what they did, but we'll discuss that in Power Talk. And now, a brief bio on the master teacher, the founder of the Nation of Yahweh, the most honorable, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Yahweh ben Yahweh came to Miami, Florida alone in 1979 to become the spiritual leader and founder of the Nation of Yahweh. Although he took a vow of poverty that same year, within 7 years, he guided the nation and those who followed his teachings and principles to amass an economic empire in the greater Miami area and throughout the United States worth over $250 million. Under his direction, the Nation of Yahweh has grown to encompass disciples, followers, believers, and supporters in thousands of cities across the United States of America, and indeed throughout the four corners of the earth. The University of Yahweh, for which he has established the curriculum, and for which he has received great acclaim in educational excellence, currently has locations across the United States. The moral teachings of Yahweh ben Yahweh is bringing about a change in the lives of individuals and causing them to take a different approach to life. This approach is based on the scripture which reads, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." Yahweh ben Yahweh continues to give. That which he is given cannot be measured in monetary wealth. Yahweh ben Yahweh is giving the world the keys to success in life, politically, educationally, economically, socially, and spiritually. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, the architect of the universe, the blessed and only potentate, the founder of the nation of Yahweh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
I'm building my kingdom with you who voluntarily receive me. Behold, I stand at your door and I knock. Some of you are sitting back in there, got your door all locked up, hollering out, who is it? I don't mind telling you, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And I'm calling out and saying, there's a terrible storm. It's a big storm headed your way. And it's called the fall of Satan. And this is the time of Jacob's trouble. Ethics is what?
Ethics, the study of the general nature of morals.
Wait a minute. Morals have a nature. Morals deal with somebody's nature. We know that this is an immoral society. Therefore, whoever the rulers of this country, their nature must be immoral. But since ethics deals with the moral nature, it means there's somebody walking around on this earth with a moral nature and do not know it. As one of our brothers been studying what I am bringing about in the lives of our people, which will be brought out in the whole country and the world, reduced my teachings to say these words. I mean, he said a lot of words, but he reduced my teachings to say these words. The forces of evil are ever at work around you, seeking recruits. And I say without pay. Your enemy, the enemy of man, the enemy of the children of God, wherever they are and whatever their color, are daily bombarded with satanic recruitment. Hey, have you heard this latest record? You didn't ask someone, what's the latest record? The enemy to your mind walks up and says, have you heard this latest record? And when they play it, it's wicked, filthy, degenerate, praises. Song means to sing, means to praise. So when the record is about drugs, it means that, and they sing about drugs, what are they doing? Praising drugs. And when people praise something in song, it has an effect different from just talking about it. Children will learn a page in minutes with a song, and it might take them a year otherwise. The devil knows that. Your child knows the words of all the songs they're playing on the radio, can sing every one of them. You don't have to encourage your child to learn those songs. They just know them. See, music has that effect, has an emotional effect. Your brain internalizes the spoken word and the written word one way, and another part of your brain absorbs musical vibrations like that. So when you put words to the musical vibration, it's gone into you just like that. Your mind holds it and grabs it. You don't have to even try to remember it. It's just there. You know, things go better with Coke. You heard it. And when you walk into a store and you think about eating a burger or something else, I mean, you automatically want what? It's hard to say 7-Up. Mountain Dew. I mean, it's hard to say Mountain. Give me a Mountain Dew. Give me a burger and a Mountain Dew. No, you don't say that. Say, give me a burger and a Coke. Things go better with Coke. Your enemy constantly walks up and says, let's go to a party. Having some fun. I mean, think, here's somebody dictating to you what fun is. I was doing just fine till you came up telling me I wasn't having fun. I thought I was having fun. Now you tell me I gotta go somewhere to have fun. Now you feel left out. You thought you were having fun. Here comes some people walking up saying, let's go to a party and have some fun, because we had some fun, we gonna have some fun. And you thought you were just blissed out your mind. Now they got you feeling bad. You're missing out on something now. And if you're a male, it's gonna be some chicks there, man, you know. Some babes gonna be there, Jack. Good looking foxes, man. You know what I mean? Now your mind, brother, is inflamed with unseen women. They may all look like bears, you know, but in your mind. And you'd be willing to take a chance, jump in an unknown car, and ride for miles, don't know where you going. Go hunt a good time and have some fun with some unseen booger bears that's got syphilis and gonorrhea and everything else out there. Yes, it's out there, just like I'm talking about it. Oh, it's waiting on you too. It's fun until you start dripping, right, brother? You go in and urinate and you have to hold on to pipes and stuff. Oh, Lord. I didn't know it would be this much fun. Coming at you, just try this cigarette, man. Try it. Hey, I wasn't born with a cigarette. Just try it. Try it. What's wrong with you? You square. You're a dud, man. You know? Hey, just try the cigarette, man. Ain't gonna kill you, Jack. See, he lied right there. It is gonna kill you. It's gonna give you lung cancer. So you resist for a little while, you resist, and they keep on coming at you. Just try it. You know, they recruit you to try it. Always try it. You tried and almost choked to death. See, hey man, that goes with the territory. You'll get over that. Keep on trying it. I'm not going to ask you how many of you ever got high on what. But most of you, any of you over 19 have gotten high on something. Wine, whiskey, alcohol, or whatever. How did it happen to you? Somebody said what? And they told you, they brainwashed you, told you, you will like it. Try it, you might like it. So they give you a coat and pour just a little bit in on the coat. Huh? You say, hey, this ain't bad after all. Order some more coat. Pour just a little bit in. Anybody, have you ever seen people do that? Yeah, you seen that, right? That's how they break them in. They just a whole lot of Coke and a little bit of it. And so now you used to get your Coke and just drink it. Now you got to be real cool. You're going to sip on it all that. First you get your Coke and just... Got some more Coke, man? Now you put Coke, put some funny water in it, and you're going to be cool now. Thing will go out.
And now you got to get a cancer stick over this thing and the other thing out. Cancer over here, heart attack, destruction of the brain over here. How did you get to look so crazy? Destruction in both hands. People out there saying what? Try it. You're always encouraged to try evil. Try evil. Try evil. But you almost never find anybody saying, try good. Let me teach you about good. Somebody always out there to try to get you to go against what God made you to be and to do. You didn't go against it on your own. Somebody. Oh, glory. I said somebody. Huh? Invited you to go against the laws of God. God. Can anybody witness for me? Am I right? All right. All right. And then after you try it, they didn't tell you what you're doing is against God's law and will destroy you. Did they? Did anybody who invited you to do wrong tell you the penalty for doing wrong? That God is going to get you for this? Huh? No, they didn't tell you. They didn't warn you. They invited you to sin, to break the laws of God, Yahweh, without telling you the penalty. And then once you get hooked, you don't need anybody to invite you to try it no more. You run around trying to get somebody else to try it. Hey, come on and try it. You might like it. What? How many admit that what I'm saying is a healing? See, just learning what happened, how we got to be in the condition we're in is a healing. You were invited to do wrong without being told the penalty. Now you're hooked. You need help, don't know how to get help. Don't know who to go to help. Sometimes the people you go to for help you do more of that. What? Sometimes the people you go to for help suffer from what you suffer from. I've seen it. Don't tell me. I know. I've been there. I know all things. Don't try to run one on me. The people you go to for help suffer from what you suffer from. So you going to a doctor to help stop you smoking, he's smoking. He can't perform surgery without a drink at first. I mean, how else do you get those scissors sewed back up in your body? Around the table drunk. Forgot to leave and left cotton all in your belly, syringes and stuff. Yeah, it happens all the time. People walking around saying, something funny. I hear this noise every time I shake. There'll be something clicking. I don't understand. Get an x-ray and it's a couple of pair of scissors and knives and scalpels and stuff in your belly. How did that get there? You're a drunk doctor. Give me morals again, baby.
Ethics, the study of the general nature of morals and of the specific moral choices to be made by the individual.
See, now, when you come into the knowledge of ethics, you're then able to make moral choices. It's like when I go into a store, it's full of abominations. Every store you go to is full of abominations. Everything that's against the laws of God, Yahweh. But when you come into the knowledge of Yahweh's diet for you,
you come into the knowledge of Yahweh's ethical, moral teaching. When you go into a store, you make a moral choice and say, this has pork byproducts. This has animal fat. And I know animal fat, pork is an animal. So I can't fool myself and say that this is cow fat and goat fat. Animal fat is a slick way of saying pig fat. And the enemy won't just come on out and say pig fat and lard, it just come up and say animal fat. So you have to have ethical knowledge to go inside that store, and when you choose your food, choose it on the basis of a moral choice. So now you got to pick and choose and leave some and pick some. That's why when you want to shop and you're ethical, you'll shop at Yahweh Groceries. And then you don't have to pick so hard, because we try to pick for you and make sure nothing is in there at all. That's abomination. Hallelujah. We don't even talk about what we don't carry. We just don't carry pig, that's it. You'll just notice by its absence that we don't carry ham and pork chops, pig foots, pig knuckles, pig nose, pig head, pig tail, pig guts. You'll just notice we don't carry Boston butt. Butts from Boston, we don't cut them up. We don't go bother nobody's butts in Boston. We sell them in our store. These are all terms. But if you go to a healing store, well, you got to be careful if you're ethical. Because if you're ethical, then you're going to be moral in your choices. And a moral choice means you're going to choose that which is right. Why will you choose that which is right? Because Yahweh said so. Why do you go by what he said? Because he's the best knower. He made your body. He knows what's good for it. If you go against it, are you free to make a choice against it? Sure. What happens if you choose food that he doesn't approve of? It makes you sick. What kind of sick? All kinds. The pig alone causes 999 different diseases. There's 999 different worms. Just that one animal all by himself. Most famous trouble comes from eating pig. Most famous arthritis, lumbago, gout, cataracts of the eye, all kinds of stuff. Cancer, tumors, bumps all over your face, all over your body. Yeah, stuff that just sometimes come up with white bumps on it. You have to get it in legs. You squeeze them and pop it and it be hurting. Pig makes you look ugly. You can tell people eat a whole lot of pig, they begin to look like one. Begin to act like one. Stupid and foolish and fussy and crazy. Can't reason with them. Praise Yahweh. That's just in the food angle. Ethics means you have to make moral choices.
Know and rest your mind ashore. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise. Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. Wow. What a message about ethics. A moral choice. You now have a moral choice if you practice ethics, if you study ethics. Then you have the ability to make the right choice. Praise Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh.
Wow. It's a deep message. Well, family, we still need you to invite people onto the Facebook and the Zoom because we have been blocked by YouTube from uploading or streaming live. And their reason is something that happened 2 years ago on a broadcast, something that happened 2 years ago.
And
So
we can't even
we can't even pinpoint what they're talking about, what was said that enabled them to block us 2 years later. So in other words, they were digging deep to find a reason to stop our broadcast. But rest assured, understanding and knowing our Father Yahweh, He already prepared us for this point. So in the near future, it will be a workaround. The devil and all of his dastardly deeds. But before you had something.
No, sir. Go right ahead.
We would talk about it again in Power Talk, but before we do have word from the sponsors. Praise Yahweh. Greetings, family. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. Been very busy self-publishing my new book entitled Ethics: How to Achieve Heaven on Earth. It has truly been a labor of love. I have researched and compiled wisdom over the last 32 years for this book, and now I present it to you. This book will truly enhance your life and change your perspective on the world today.
Praises unto Yahweh, and Yahweh be Yahweh. From the nation of Yahweh,
YahwehRadio.com. YahwehRadio.com.
step on into
YahwehRadio.com.
Let nobody
turn me away from Yahweh.
YahwehRadio.com.
Yahweh and Yahweh is a great God and a great King above
YahwehRadio.com.
You name Yahweh is truly God. Yeah.
Rescuing our future since 2004. From beginner to advanced. From melodies to mastery. From practice to performance. Neo Jazz School of Music, creating space for young people to express and to grow. Now with 2 locations, New Orleans and Miami. Enroll today at neojazz.org.
Yahweh Virtual University is now providing free weekly Saturday classes for students of all ages. Yes, you've heard that right. Our free Saturday Bible Fun classes allow students to create fun projects while learning Yahweh mathematics, reading, writing, and of course, amazing Bible stories. Click the link in the description below to see the correct age group and time students should join our free Bible fun classes. We look forward to seeing you each Saturday. Praise Yahweh forever.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zadi toothpaste. Zadi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zadi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zadi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
Praise Yahweh. We are back. There's a lot going on in the nation of Yahweh. There's a lot going on in the world today. One of the things about the wicked are unethical. And the way to beat the wicked is by being ethical. It's not by fighting them with sticks and knives and guns and rocks and bottles and all kinds of stuff. No, you fight wickedness with righteousness, upholding the law, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. We'll prevail. We'll exalt the nation high above all that foolishness and civil war and racism and bigotry and all of the problems of the world. Ethics will solve. There's a promo out where I talk about the book being a solution to all, my book that I just recently released being the solution to all the world problems. But it's not the book, it's the contents of the book. Yahweh gave us ethics, which is morality based on the moral laws, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. It's a way of behavior, a way of being, way of existing. When you go into a store, you make a moral choice based on the law, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. So you don't just purchase just anything that looks good, smells good, tastes good, and it's cheap. No, go ahead.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on in here.
Well, praise Yahweh. What an amazing message. And this just really appealed to why I still support the food co-op here in New Orleans. It's really one of those situations where we are inundated with things around us that's controlling how we think. Yahweh ben Yahweh made the analysis of the commercials, and you remember these jingles, right? Mm-hmm. And you just inclined to go to these places because of what has been put in your head. So what the diligence of being a supporter of a business that's not a traditional business model, nothing you see a whole lot of advertisements about, but you actively and intentionally go somewhere else, direct your dollars that are more supporting people that are closer to you, makes a bit, big of an impact than going
your
to
community.
Shopping, shopping at Amazon,
big national chain that
Whole Foods and
extract and suck all the lifeblood out of communities.
Walmart,
all of the above.
And in the grocery sector, the giant is Kroger.
Yeah. And when you go to these places, 95%, 98%, sometimes 99% of what they have in the grocery store is just to keep you dying before your time. Let's put it that way. You don't have to be specific.
So
it's not for you to eat.
So to demonstrate that you've made a moral choice, it's demonstrated in the life that you choose. Right? It's the things that
your choice, right?
Your choices and things. Whether you've inculcated Yahweh's laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments in your being, is demonstrated by the choices you make.
Absolutely. And see, that's why we have to understand that, you know, we wasn't born unethical. Somebody convinced you to go against the laws of Yahweh. That's like when you're sitting around watching your favorite cartoon on TV as a little child, and next thing you know, boom, a commercial pop up with all kinds of fruit, berry, Kool-Aid or whatever it is. And you like, Mom, I want some Kool-Aid. And they convince you to go against the laws of Yahweh because that is a pork byproduct.
Mm.
For some odd reason, red beverage called Kool-Aid is a pork byproduct because the devil is trying to hide these things in all kinds of common, you know, household things that seem to be, oh, it has nothing to do with spirituality. It has nothing to do with God's law. It has nothing to do with church or religion. This is Kool-Aid, you know. But in reality, the devil knows that it's against the will of Yahweh for you to consume pork in any form. So he hide it in things and hide it under different names that if you don't study to show yourself approved, you will never know that you've been ingesting this stuff for years when you say, I don't eat no pork.
Well, what I appreciate the most about how the most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh gives this information to us is he makes it palatable, right?
Mm.
He gives it to us in a context that we can comprehend. And really by demonstrating these scenarios about going into the grocery store and making a choice. But the reality of it is these systems all around us have been inundated with satanic precepts, principles, ways of existence. And our reality as the children of Yahweh or the chosen of Yahweh is we have to actively and consciously make a choice that's not in alignment with the enemy of Yahweh. Absolutely. We have to be conscious of these systems. We have to be conscious of the things that exist that will put us in misalignment with the principles of Yahweh, the laws of Yahweh.
And see, what we're talking about is practical application.
Mm-hmm.
See, being ethical in the practical application is that if you have something that you need, say, medical attention, you don't go to one doctor and believe what he says. You go shop around. You shop around for any other product. Why would you just go to one person and believe everything he say without a second opinion, a third opinion, especially when it's something life-threatening? You know, when if it's something just common like a toenail, you know, needs to be, ingrown toenail need to be, you know, dealt with. You know, we're not talking about something insignificant. When it's something life-threatening, when you talk about seeking help for whatever it is, you have to be diligent and find the best capable person, you know, that you're able to afford, of course. And see, all of this is those systems that we have to navigate. Regardless, we have to navigate these systems. So with ethics, Yahweh gives you the ability to make those moral choices as opposed to just doing whatever you're told because that person says they are smart. Hey, I'm smart. Believe what I say. I'm a doctor. No, forget that. You know, tell me something about yourself. What's your success rate in dealing with this? What are your credentials? You know, I don't care where you went to school because you supposedly learned the same thing in all the schools. Some are seemingly more prestigious than the other because they have more advertising and marketing. But at the end of the day, a doctor's supposed to learn what all doctors supposed to learn or whatever it is. So the point is, not belaboring the point, is that ethics, which is a system of moral principles, will give you the ability to make correct choices, to make informed choices. And you know our foundation scriptures study to show that self-approved. And so how are you studying when you just go along with whatever system it is, whether it's the food system, they give you this food and say, hey, this is all natural, which we found out means nothing. It's a slogan.
It is. It is. It doesn't really have real context. And I kind of want to circle back to another one of these systems too, because we just showed a promo of a CD release for Yizrakia, which is a divine vibration. So we encourage our family and those listening,
run to the Yes Store and pick up that CD.
Indeed, because it has that holy and that Yahweh context that you're looking for. It's a story. And once you listen to and look at the titles of the songs,
After the Garden,
yes,
the Ark, City of Peace,
this is a musical journey that takes us on our own divine journey as the children of Yahweh. So just go out, buy that
along the way.
Indeed. But the thing that I want to lift out is Yahweh ben Yahweh in today's message said how the devil influences us
through music.
He influences us through musical vibrations. And the enemy of Yahweh understands how deeply musical vibrations impacts a certain part of our brain to make us do something. And it immediately triggers an action frequency inside of our mind.
Right.
So whereas the written and the spoken word has a different effect on our brain, the musical vibration
is one of those things that drill and bore through and gets in, whether you wanted to get in there or not.
So that's why commercials have jingles and musical tones
all the time.
That catchy phrases that that captivate its audience and causes you to do stuff.
Like ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm loving it.
I see you knew it,
I mean, there. It's out there in your face. And so these are the things that, whether we are openly and actively willing to admit, it's impacting us.
That's right. That's right. It's impacting you whether you want it to impact you or not, just by indulging in it. And floating around on the social media was a video of Michael Jackson explaining music as why they call it a hook when they have a certain thing that they sing over and over in a song, and he said you sing that over and over, and then the people sing it over and over, and then they become that and they act out those things and they don't even realize why they're acting like that, but it's because of the music that they sing over and over. It's like a mantra. He said it's like a mantra, a self-programming word, group of words that make you do certain things. And a lot of times mantra is for to better yourself, but it also can be used to degrade yourself or bring you down and to a base level of not achieving nothing.
And we have to have knowledge that these things exist.
Absolutely.
That's the reality that we're really dealing with. We understand that righteousness exalted a nation, but for us, we got to understand the things that are happening around us.
That's how to navigate around those things,
prohibiting us being and living in our righteousness.
Absolutely.
What are the things we're intaking? What are the things we listening to? Food. What are the systems that we're subject to that we don't know about?
Absolutely.
We have to ask ourselves these things.
Absolutely. Yahweh ben Yahweh came as a whole entire God in the flesh. He came as that. And he said in the scriptures, I have said ye are gods, and all of us are children of the Most High. So now, what is he telling us? Well, there's aspects of Yahweh ben Yahweh that we all can do, and there's aspects of Yahweh ben Yahweh that we can't do because that's not our field. He said, it's 144,000 of us, the God here, out here, and we don't all have the same job. We don't all have the same thing to do. We got to do, all of these things all at the same time. Yahweh ben Yahweh was able to do all those things at the same time because he is Yahweh in the flesh. Now it's up to us to achieve a level of that perfection in the things that we're blessed with to do. It's just whatever you're blessed with to do, achieve a level of perfection, and Yahweh will bless you with other things to do. You know, just like the parable of the man with the talents, the 10 talents, and how some buried their talent and they wasn't given any more, and others multiplied their talent and they was given more talents. See, so it's just the same parable. You know, we have to start somewhere. It doesn't matter where you start. And like I said, no matter where you've been, it matters where you're going. Well, whatever the talent that Yahweh blessed you with, develop that talent into something to give back to Yahweh.
And you know, Yahweh speaks to us and tells us things, and we have to be conscious of what the reality of those things are. He tells us that we have to judge people and things by their works. Our reality as a people, we have to be conscious enough to make individual ethical and moral choices. He gave us a toolkit of resources that is able to help support us and protect us. Now, we as individuals are out here on our own personal journey, trying to achieve that state of perfection. And as you are out there on your journey, Yahweh gave you everything that you need for you to make sure you make a righteous choice. That's just like with working and walking together with people. You know, you really have to be conscious and be mindful of what are a person's works. You ain't even got to go ask them. You can go look at what people do. You can go look at what people stand for. People shopping at, you know, buying their groceries from Family Dollar. Do you think that they have a healthy mindset? Do you get in the car with them and their car smell like cigarette smoke? Do you think that they are well people
and have a healthy lifestyle? Yeah.
If you surround yourself with these energies, this is the real thing that Yahweh has given us. If you surround yourself with these energies, these mindsets, you will be engulfed in immoral choices. We have to make our own moral individual choices. We have to be students of the word of Yahweh. We have to be mindful, and we have to see things for what they really are, because there's a lot of things, a lot of systems out there that appear to be one thing, but they really are another thing.
Well, and that's all of Satan's systems. All of these systems that are set up to bind us into this carnality, physical existence, that make you think that there's nothing else except you die, and then you go to a spiritual or etheric existence. So on this side of that, on the physical side, we got to do physical things. We got to do that. Okay, well, there are some physical things that we must do, but that's not the only thing as far as this world is concerned. You know, here is the spirituality to transcend. In this world is the spirituality to transcend the physical carnal world, not being of the world, being in the world and not of the world. That's two different things. Yes, we are in this world, and our job is to dress and keep the planet and to subdue it and have dominion over it. That's our job. Now, also our job now at this phase of the game is to prepare ourselves for rulership.
That's it.
Rulership meaning the righteous example of Yahweh's law, statute, judgments, and commandments, ethics to the world. A righteous example to the world. That's what ruler means. It's not telling people to do stuff. It's teaching people, leading people by example.
Leading by example.
Leading by example.
And how people spend their time, how people do the things they commit to what they do. That should tell the story.
And everybody have works.
Everybody have works.
Now, that's how we judge a brother or sister. We don't judge them by their words. And this is what the most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh said to the world about himself. He said, don't judge me You don't have to judge me by my words. You can judge me by my works.
What do we do?
What are my works?
And this is, Yahweh ben Yahweh, and I know it's time for power talk, but he ended this message by saying ethics means you have to make a moral choice. And this is for the individual. What do you choose to do? How do you choose to live your life?
That's it. It's your choice.
How do you choose to walk your walk? So it is now time for Power Talk. We encourage our family to join us in this conversation. If you are on the Zoom app, all you have to do is press *6 to unmute yourself if you dialed in, or just hit the microphone button to unmute yourself if you are on the app. And this issue with YouTube, brother.
Circling around.
Circling back to that.
YouTube just arbitrarily
found a video
2 years ago, a broadcast where they said we went against their community guidelines. Now, mind you, it was 2 years ago that we so-called one comment went against their community guidelines, and they blocked us from uploading video or streaming. Now, 2 years later. So logically, we can deduce that the powers at YouTube went on a witch hunt to find a reason to stop us in our momentum. Now that sounds familiar. They had to stop. We gained over 1,000 subscribers in the last 6 months, which that's nothing in YouTube terms. But in practical reality of people listening to this word, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
We had over 2,700 subscribers. We have over 2,700 subscribers on our YouTube channel, The Nation of Yahweh. So, family, they saw fit to find some reason to shut us down from continuing to spread this light, this unfolding light that is unfolding in our lifetime. In reality, with the government being, on the verge of civil war, and, the country polarized to, stupidity, and people who like, that's stupid. It's two sides. Stupidity, it's okay, and that stupid side.
And you have all kinds of people now that are speaking out against immoral behavior
and taking the side.
and people are choosing to be on the side of righteousness. The people are choosing. And so the thing that we got to recognize is deeper than what it looks like on the surface.
On the surface, much deeper.
It's much deeper than what it looks like on the surface.
Because on the surface, all the world is a stage, and it's all made up and presented to you like a movie. But you were saying?
Well, we do have a caller wanting to join the conversation. So caller with your line unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. We sure can.
Oh, praise Yahweh. This is Sister Yokebed, and I am so excited about this class because it is so pertinent for us knowing how to move forward. As far as us being censored from YouTube, etc., family, believe you me, consider it a badge of honor, because all of these institutions that are prominent, that are in the public, for the public, have been demonized. And anything and everything and everyone that is giving the people morality and righteousness and healthful information is being censored. We are among those that the devil does not want the world to hear. There was someone censored back in, I believe it was 2015, who was literally telling the world were more dangerous for young Black boys than any other race. And this is a person with a laboratory. This is a person that did tests. This is a person that was determined to get the truth out about the dangers of, and this person was censored back in 2015. And this person decided to create their own social media platform. So they are determined not to censor anything. They're determined to let everyone have free speech. So we'll talk about that later. But family, we are literally on the move in a huge way. And now it is time to cater to those that are seeking morality and seeking the truth. The subliminal seduction has been going on for years. I remember taking a class on subliminal seduction. So that's what the music has been doing to us. That's what the mainstream media. There is a psychological warfare taking place. When we listen to mainstream media, they're pumping so many lies into us. We are literally being hypnotized by their words. It is crucial not to just allow those negative vibrations and lies to just infiltrate into our subliminal consciousness. So family, just praise Yahweh. Yahweh says when they come after you and they, hate you and they treat you evil, praise Yahweh because Yahweh came before us and there are systems available for us to reach the right people. Praise Yahweh family. Love you. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Praise Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for giving you the wisdom to share.
Right. Praise Yahweh.
It's always understanding that Satan is fighting. He's fighting for your mind. And pretty much that's where we at. We do have another caller.
We do have another caller. Caller with your line unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom, Alicia Balia.
Shalom. Yes, ma'am.
Los Angeles. We got so many people in Los Angeles. They're trying to put Yahweh's people underneath the bus. They got immigrants coming in to take over. They got health care going to people that has never been here before. So praise Yahweh. We are the ones that's going to take over this nation and unfold all the things that they are doing to us. Because we got to study to be approved. And Timothy, do your best to present yourself to Yahweh as one approved. So we got a job to do. Praise Yahweh. Alicia Balia, boots on the ground. You got to.
Praise Yahweh. Our boots on the ground, sister.
We always thank Yahweh for you and your West Coast report.
Our West Coast report checking in. Praise Yahweh.
On the ground.
And then we also want to shout out to our brother Dan Yah, who has received the ethics book. Toda Yahweh for that. And thank you for letting us know, Dr. Lou. We are really excited about all this content.
And I think that's why the devil is coming against us, because the day we release the book, it's like, okay, now we getting uppity. Now you mean to tell me you representing Yahweh's word in book form that we can't say that this man is a cult leader, or this man did this and did that. You can't say that about me because I wasn't there, And so now when you put something out there that the general public might take hold of, because anybody with any spirituality, anybody who is affiliated with Christians and Muslims and Jewish, whoever reads the Bible can get a lot out of this book. This book is not just for the so-called Black man of America. It's always charitable. So that means we begin with our story, and the story is about why did we get so unethical? Why did the world get so unethical? We were the example back in the past of Yahweh's children. We were the example of his laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments. When we kept those laws, when we stayed faithful to Yahweh, we were blessed. When we didn't, we were cursed. Yahweh said in Deuteronomy 28 that if we turn away from him, we would be put in slavery. And that's just what happened. But it also says that we'll gain that great substance again. And we do have another caller.
We do have a caller with their line unmuted. Caller with their line unmuted. You're now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh, giving all praise, glory, honor, and esteem to Yahweh ben Yahweh, who is Yahweh in the flesh as the Son. Sisters Abia Bira, Israel calling in from Holiday, Florida. And I'm just enjoying today's program to the max. And it's a whole different experience after reading at least the first. I think I'm through the first chapter of Brother Lude's book, Ethics, Establishing Heaven on Earth, and it is divine. I mean, I can't put it down. It's just hard to put it down, but it reminds me so much of our Father's Spirit in his books. Family, you're really going to enjoy the book. And also our sister Yochebed Sarah's book of poems, which is really not a book of poems as we know it. The poems in this book, family, are healing. They are divine, heavenly. So 2 great books, and Yahweh has put his spirit upon us to do this, and we're doing it. So praise Yahweh ben Yahweh. But I wanted to share a scripture along the lines of what has happened with our nation. And I'm glad our sister Yochebed Sarah brought up about the other person that was banned, Mike Adams, also known as the Health Ranger. He was always putting truth on YouTube about health and just ethics in general. And he didn't let that stop him. He went in and established his own video and social media platform where you can go and freely speak the truth, and speaking the truth they are. Praise Yahweh. But the scripture I wanted to share is in the book of Matthew chapter 5, verses 11 through 13. And it reads, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for my name's sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." And the last verse 13, "Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men." And you can read this whole chapter if you like on your own, and go more in detail as to what that particular verse means. But I just want to share that because it goes perfectly along with what has happened to our youth, us being blocked on YouTube. And as we know, with the spirit of Yahweh ben Yahweh, we are not letting that stop us. We're going to continue publishing the name and publishing the truth and ethics, because that's what we do. That's what our nature is all about. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh, and thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Praise Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for your wisdom. I thank Yahweh for your words. And I thank Yahweh for your teaching the nation of Yahweh all about the health and being clean and all manner of teachings. This is what it takes to build a nation. This is a foundation. We're still working on the foundation, family. Knowledge is our foundation. Knowledge is our inheritance. You know, the ability to do something, being able. Yahweh resurrected the able in us, and now it's time to go and teach the world. But we have to focus on ourselves first. It's always charity. Charity gets us into heaven. It is a master key, just like ethics is a master key to heaven. If we want to get into heaven, we have to be ethical. We have to be charitable. We have to understand that we are to be that righteous example, which is the rulership. There is commandments that command us to be the royal priesthood. And we must sing the praises of Yahweh ben Yahweh, the Son of Yahweh, who brought us out of darkness into his marvelous light and made us a people again. You know, we're the nation of Yahweh. And that's not an arbitrary thing. It's the spirit that dwells within us that makes us citizens of the nation of Yahweh.
And one thing I really want to appreciate, so many things I appreciate, but one thing I want to lift out in appreciations in this moment is how Yahweh ben Yahweh knew that we needed to understand how we got to be in the condition we're in, so in order for us to heal. That was a priority, having knowledge. My people are destroyed because of the lack of knowledge. So a priority is understanding how we got in the condition in the first place.
Right.
And I'm appreciating how ethics, the book, your book, How to Achieve Heaven on Earth, lifts out how we got in this condition.
Absolutely. It's a chapter on it.
And even highlights the systems that got in place or were put in place to sustain that condition.
Absolutely. That chapter in the book on how did we get to be so unethical, you can see from the message today, a lot of that chapter is saying the same thing that our Father revealed to us today. Those moral choices when we go to a grocery store, when we're sitting around having fun, and then somebody come on and say, hey, come on, let's go have some fun. Like, I thought I was already having fun, and you just made me second guess that just by inviting me to come on and go somewhere that I don't have a clue of what's going on there, but it's more fun than what you're doing right now. But they didn't give you the consequences of that fun. They didn't give you that you're finna come do some immoral acts that have consequences that may permeate through the rest of your life. Like those diseases you can't get rid of that you had to live with for the rest of your life.
So many things that impact our way of being and our well-being.
Absolutely.
That we have to be conscious of. Even to the degree of like where you live, and our reality as a people over the years, if you know how like this country was made, I think we're all relatively conscious of how this country was made.
Yeah.
But having that knowledge of where you live was orchestrated by some kind of big corporation, really. Well, major corporations influence why you live in certain areas in the country, literally.
Well, just like in the book, in the I think it's in the introduction, where you had to set the record straight because they have all this 1611 project and the 1611 when the English brought over the slaves, and it's like, but that's not the beginning of the slave trade.
No,
it happened a century before that. There were Hebrew slaves on Columbus' voyage. There were always, St. Augustine, Florida, the city was built it was founded in 1565, and the first boatload of slaves who built that city arrived in 1555. And see, so when you think about how the deception is always trying to rewrite history to a different way, there was French and there was Italians and the Portuguese all had slaves the Portuguese started the slave trade. Queen Ferdinand and King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella. They commissioned men to go enslave us to bring us to this so-called New World. And read the book. It's all in the intro.
All in there.
It's all in the intro. And those systems that were designed to enslave us has now been deployed on enslaving the whole world. That fulfills the scripture, those who lead in captivity shall go into captivity. The biggest part of the population of America, and indeed the so-called Western world, are in slavery. They work jobs, endless jobs till they die. They don't never have enough. Time's getting hard. Bread costs $20.
It's so much. And, you mentioned how those systems with, when those people commissioned our enslavement, the laws that were instituted during that time, maritime law,
right.
Much of our commercial code
is based
off like how we transact business with each other now.
Birth certificate is about maritime law.
So it's a lot of people out there studying these things to achieve sovereignty. But our reality of it is we have to have knowledge of this stuff.
Right.
We have to know about it. We have to know about these systems. And that's what Yahweh ben Yahweh gave us. He told us in Hosea 4:6 My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God Yahweh. I will also forget thy children. So these are the conditions.
Well, and when we think about it, you cannot achieve sovereignty from somebody else. Nobody else can give you sovereignty. That's a contradiction of the word. If I can ask somebody to give me sovereignty, then my sovereignty depends on them. What if happened if they change their mind after a year or two and say, no, you're not sovereign anymore? Nobody can give you sovereignty. Yahweh gives us sovereignty. And he said, if you understand take, in the true meaning of shalom, he said, if you understand take, then you would take whatever it is that you desire. You would know that there's at least 117 different definitions of the word take, and we're supposed to embody all of them as it relate to being sovereign, as it relate to us being a nation, as it relate to us being not subjected to asking the devil or any of his agencies or his systems for freedom. If we have to ask them for freedom, then that means you're not free. If you had to ask them for sovereignty, you're not sovereign. What a lot of these people are doing is proving through their law that they are sovereign. Whenever they have interactions with them, they prove with their law that, hey, it doesn't apply to me, I'm sovereign. Now, you can't give me sovereignty. You have no jurisdiction over me because I'm a sovereign person, not a citizen. Citizen of what? According to their law, I'm a sovereign. I'm sovereign. Yahweh is the only thing that governs us in the government of Yahweh. So we need to have the knowledge of ethics and make the moral choice to navigate their systems, because whether we like it or not, we're still subjected to their systems. Now we can gain our freedom, but we're not free from their systems yet. We have to build our own communities and take our sovereignty. And it takes line upon line, step by step, precept upon precept.
Here a little,
there a little. So we can't do this overnight.
Well, I want to also appreciate the many of our family members that are out here that are doing good works and being ethical and being moral and demonstrating that good nature in Yahweh. Shout out to Sister Yokebed for the Restore Your Soul poems. I just got my copy. I made a commitment the other day and got caught up in life. So we got to break those cycles
and do it now. And speaking of do it now, I'd like to thank all of the people who purchased their book last week. Luckily, I have more books coming in the next day or so, because I sold out of the initial box of books that our family responded. And I thank our family for doing that. And I encourage all who have not gotten the book to order the book. It will change your life. Praise Yahweh.
So there's content on a variety of places. We got the NOY store where you can get your Zadi toothpaste.
Absolutely.
You can get Yahweh Ben Yahweh's book, some Nation of Yahweh merchandise. Visit noystore.com. Visit yesstore.com. Visit Yahweh Virtual University, where you can today actually attend a free Bible study class. Family, there is so many alternatives to the corrupted media that that's been put in our face, that we now have options. Yahweh Radio. So now we have Sunlight by Ishrakia. We have a plethora of works.
Sunlight. Wow, that's deep, because that gives you spiritual vibrations of sunlight in the music. Go ahead.
So there's so many things. We should not get bored, because our family is out there working and we're producing. And
we even have an entertainment channel where we fly through space and do different missions, and it's entertainment. We have to do that too, because Yahweh has entertainment with the plays and the reenactments of historical events that he used
Yahweh
to have
is
at
the
the temple.
inventor of
And he had
entertainment.
music at the temple, heavenly music at the temple. Even in time past, back in our antiquity, he had music playing 24 hours a day in the temple. They had shifts. The musicians had a job forever. The shifts, they go in and play their shift.
So there is so much for us to be doing and cross supporting with each other.
Absolutely.
And I just want to encourage all those family members that are out there working. Keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yahweh knows what you're doing. He knows your work. And we applaud you. And we are all working the way we are taught to work to build Yahweh's kingdom.
And make sure you do all your work ethically, according to the moral principles of Yahweh. And that's what ethics is. And ethics, righteousness, morality, it all exalts you, which exalts the nation who you're a part of. So when we all become exalted through ethical behavior, through righteous behavior, through keeping the laws, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh, then the nation is elevated to its rightful place, and all nations will see it and come up and say, hey, what y'all doing that we're not doing, that y'all getting so much success? You may not see it now, but it's happening.
It's happening. It's happening.
Well, that brings us to the conclusion. You have any final words before we close out?
I just want to encourage our family to visit thenationofyahweh.com, which you'll hear again here shortly. Subscribe to the newsletter. There is a way for you to stay connected on that website.
Absolutely.
The link to Unfolding Light is also embedded in the calendar on that page, as well as how to attend our healing classes coming up shortly by Sister Zabia.
Absolutely. And subscribe and listen to Yahweh Radio, because that is one of those things that they cannot ban and they cannot keep us from saying what we want to say. We are still in the process of upgrading. So, just bear with us as we find the right technology to bring that to you in the way that
the right tool.
In the way that Yahweh taught us to do it. Praise Yahweh. That brings us to the end of this episode of The Unfolding Light. Please join us next week for another episode of The Unfolding Light. And now, if everybody will stand and face the east with outstretched hand, as we close out this episode with a prayer, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuterika, Yad Zerizonka, Kim Vashamayim Kain Ba'aretz, Et Lekum Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh. And always remember, Yahweh loves you, Yahweh Ben Yahweh loves you, and so does the nation of Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Thank you for joining The Unfolding Light, presented by the Nation of Yahweh. If you have any comments or questions, please email us at info@thenationofyhwh.com. Follow us online at thenationofyahweh.com, theunfoldinglight.com, and at yahwehbenyahweh.biz. Get social with us. Follow the Nation of Yahweh on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, do remember to pay Yahweh and yourselves first and don't touch it, as instructed by the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. You can send your tithes, donations, and offerings to the Nation of Yahweh at P.O. Box 555-115, Orlando, Florida 32855. And be blessed continually, according to Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, shalom.
Stop your crying. Stop your crying. It's gonna be alright. Stop your lying, children. It's gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. Stop worrying. Stop this worrying going on. It's gonna be alright, man. Cause you see, Yahweh Ben Yahweh is here now. Well, he's a man with a wonderful, wonderful life. You'll be praying.